everyone. Hello. Afternoon. Haha. Donna's the first on. She's been waiting with anticipation. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we? I'll come on a little bit early just to make sure everybody's okay. Make sure we're up and running live. And just make sure my camera's nice and square and straight. Let's get it right. Hi sister, how are you? Hi Alani. If you have confused Gavin, he'll probably will be on the vodka later, yes. Done. I think Beverly is watching as well. Hi Beverly. Again, if you would like to share to friends or to craft groups or stuff like that, you can share a link or share to your post. Hi Gaina. Hi Deborah. How was everyone today? Gavin's pinned a link at the bottom of the comments box there, so if you want to see any of the products or stuff that we using, then please look at that. Hi Deborah, hi again. Gavin is watching too, even though he's just behind me. Right, so the card we're going to do today in the Crafty Long, yes, is a sort of tunnel card, so they all sort of go down inwards. So if I turn that sideways, you can see then that it sort of goes down into it, and I'm going to get in shot of the area. So they're each on different layers, or you can just stick them flat. But on this one then, the heart one, I've actually added a little shaker element into it. So that's lovely there, and I've also added the same glitter that I got in the shaker here, and I've actually made the glitter gems as well out of PVA and just the glitter. So if you'd like to share the stream, share the post, everything like that, that'd be lovely. And I'm just looking at the time, just see what the time is. It's not quite 2 o'clock yet, and then I'll just get going in at 2, and I can explain what you need as well. Yeah, if there's any banging or stuff like that, it's because Gavin's crafting on the table behind me. So he's playing with his alcohol inks again, so there we are. Hi Yvonne, how are you? Just popped up that you're watching, so send me a little hello. 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 Gavin, you're so funny, Donna says. So the cards we're doing is sort of tunnel cards, and as you can see, I'm going to be using the hexagonals today for the card I've done today, but I've used circles in this one and hearts in this one. So the heart ones are the Crafter's Companion ones, and they had all sorts of different ones. They even had circle ones, and they had tone edge, scalloped edge, stitched edge. So I've used the tone edge on that one, so you know, if you've got any of them, that's fine. But the nesting dies you need to use No, it is sort of an invertage, Donna, yes, so very clever. I was trying to think of the word it was called. Oh, I'm glad you've been looking forward to this one, Deborah. But literally, so you've just shown me the heart ones. So that was the circle ones I used on the circle ones. So, and we're starting from the tiny one in the centre. So if you have got any nesting dies, you just need to pick the shape or whatever you want to use, and they're better if they're closer to each other like this. Okay. And now I'll explain which ones you need from a set. So you could be using squares as well. So if you've got any tonic ones, Crafter's Companion ones, Crafts 2, you know, it's entirely up to you. But the ones I've got today that I'm using is the hexagonals, and this is a Crafts 2 one. And they're absolutely brilliant because you get a lot more die and they go a lot more bigger, so I think they fit onto an 8x8 card. They're a lot more bigger than all the others, and they're still very close to each other. And Gavin keeps commenting behind, so I'm awful sorry everybody, but if something goes flying from the table back behind me, you know why. If he keeps on, he's going to go downstairs, and that's why he's giggling it behind, because he's in a wicked mood today. Hello Mum, how are you? Right, so let's get started. With my hexagonal dies, I've taken the very centre one, and I've taken the centre one plus 9 above that. So that's what you need, is the very small one, then you're going to do the next 3, then the next 3 up, and then the next 3 up. And this is what we need to do this card. So from the smallest upwards, and you need 10 dies. Okay, hi Carolyn, how are you? So this is what we need. So 10 dies from the tiniest one all the way up on the Crafts 2 ones. And then also you will need 2 sheets of white card. The one of them can be a 200 gram, but the other one needs to be a card base, so 300 gram. And then 3 colours that's going to sort of go with each other. So I'm using a black grey, and I'm using a sort of nice, what's that colour, sky blue colour card. So it's got a little bit of extra colour in, so that's how they're going to matte and layer up. Okay, so I've got 4 colours. So my white, and then 3 colours that will go. So this could be a pink, a lilac and a purple. Could be a pink, lilac and a red. So it could be any 3 colours that's going to blend. So like the circle one here, I've got the white top one, which will always be the white. Then I got cream, a brown, and then a chocolate brown. And then on the heart one, I've got white as my top one, which will always be white, a baby pink, a red, and then a maroon. Okay, not sure if it's called maroon on our site actually. Okay, so are we ready? Everybody ready? So I'm going to start now. Let's have a look what the time is, and if it's about 5 past, then we're fine. Yeah, it's about 5 past, so we'll get going on this on the craft along. So I'm going to leave the 2 cards out of sight at the moment, because I need to bring my trimmer in now, and so I'm going to move these to the back a minute, and then I will bring them in as we're going, as we start to die cut. So the first thing you need to do is, hiya Tracy, how are you? I am, hi Deborah, hi everybody, anybody that I've missed as well. So I've taken an A4 300 gram white card, and this could be super smooth or the pick a mix. And I'm putting it all the way to the left, and I'm scoring it at 15 centimeters. And then when I've scored it at 15 centimeters, I'll leave the fold way come upwards, and then that will stop that from cracking or anything like that. And if it's not quite square, you just pop it on, hold it, and then score that, and then you should have a little lip on the back like that. So the bigger side is always the front side. So that is our base card, and that is the end of the scoring. Just put my scoreboard back down where it belongs. So that is our base card, and I'm going to put that to the side. So that's an A5 base card. So if anybody's got any questions as we're going as well and not quite understanding everything, then don't be afraid to ask or mention it. So I'm then going to bring in my trimmer. I'm using the guillotine today. This is the X-Cut, but we do get the Crafter's Companion one in. So I'm going to cut in order that they're going to go from top to bottom. Okay, so the top white we're going to put in landscape in our trimmer, and we're going to cut to 14 centimeters, and then we're going to turn that piece around and we're going to cut that to 20 centimeters, and always just make sure that it's flat up against the top there. Push the plastic things down so it holds it, and then cut that. So that was 14 by 20. The piece that's come off, that's a spare piece, so that could go back in your cupboard and that can go for your second card. Okay, so we've got our white piece, which is 14 by 20. Then we're going to take our next colour down. And we're going to cut that landscape again from 14 again. So we're cutting it the same size as the white. So that's 14 by 20. Okay, and the spare bit that comes off, that's another bit you can use for the next one. See, Gavin's throwing things around the place now, look. That was my blue one, so the blue and the white is cut exactly the same. Then I'm going to take a grey piece, which is my second colour down. So I'm going down the levels. So I've done my white, I've done my blue, which is the cream on this brown one, and the light brown one is going to be my grey. So I'm cutting that now, and that's going to be cut exactly the same size as what I've just cut. So that's 14 centimeters by 20 centimeters. So all three of them are the same size. So I've got my top white, my blue one, and then my grey one, because they're going down in from light down to dark. And then the darkest colour, so hope you've all caught up with that if you're crafting along, but if not, after I've cut this one, then I'll wait for a little bit as well. So I'm taking my darkest colour now, so this is the bottom sort of level, and on the bottom level you can see I've got it inside each of the circles that I've cut downwards, so an invertage, as Donna actually said, but it's also the matten layer that's on the outside, so I need it to be a little bit bigger than the other three pieces I've already cut. So I'm going to cut that one landscape to 14.5 centimeters. So that's 14.5 centimeters. Hi Jenny. And then I'm cutting it the other way at 20.5. So I'll just go through all that again now. Okay, so again, the piece of black that's come off it and the piece of grey, that is spare. You might need a bit of the black later, that's all. Okay, so what we now have is our folded card, which is an A5 card. We've got our black, which is our matten layer, which is the darkest colour, which was cut to 14.5 by 20.5. And then we've got our grey, our pale blue and our white, all cut to 14 by 20. So dark colour 14.5 by 20.5. The three other colours 14 by 20. Hello, hello, hello. How are you, Mum? Okay? So what we're going to do now is start off with our top colour. So the piece of white that we have actually cut to 14 by 20. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to bring in the dies in order that they were in. So I'm going to leave them there then, and then we can work from there so people can see which ones I'm actually using. Okay, so we're going to do all the die cutting together now. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my tiniest little one here. Then I've got my 3 next sizes up. So if I put that in the middle, you can see that's the smallest one. Then I've got the next 3 up. So if I took that one and put that over there, you can see that's the next size up from there. So literally I don't miss out the die. I take the smallest one out of the set and then go up. Oh, it's raining hard in Salisbury. Maybe we've got that to look forward to later, because I know it's coming from over your way, this way today. So yeah, so we got the small one, the next 3 up, the next 3 up, and then the next 3 up. So we've literally taken all 10 of the smallest out of the set. Okay, so are we ready? So for me now, so the size your image will fit into will be your middle 3. It'll actually be the smallest one out of that. So that will be where your image will fit. And I've already chosen my image today. I'm actually going to make a Father's Day card. And because my dad did work in the mine for a little while, when he was younger, I'm going to use the miner's lamp. Okay. So I'm just making sure that that's going to sort of fit in there nicely. And then that's fine. So that was the largest one of the second lot of 3. So this is how we set it out. To get our layers to go downwards, we're going to take the large one of the larger 3, and I'm going to place that there. And remember, you need to place this cut inside down. I'm just leaving enough room so I can get a foam pad or foam tape down the side there, even if I have to cut it in half. So that's that. Then going to take the largest one out of the medium 3. And notice I'm keeping them so they're all points up. I'm just going to pop that one there. And then I'm going to take the largest one of the smallest 3 that we've got in the pile. I'm just going to pop that one. I'm going to pop it up a little bit there. So there we are. So I've got that. So this is what I wanted to do to set them up. And then to tape these onto here, always tape it to the inner part of the die and the paper, because if your paper does rip with your tape, then it's a part of the paper we're not actually going to use, because we're going to use the outer area here. So we're just taping it in 2 places. I'm going to tape this piece in 2 places, so my tape is always sticking to the inner shape. So some of these pieces look a bit dirtier because they're ones I've used before, so I'm just reusing things like that. So this is the first layer. Okay, so I could put that there, and you can't really set the next ones up until you've cut this one. So this is our first step. We need to place that like that, and then we need to cut in. Okay, so that is my next step. So I'm just going to get my plates for my Gemini Junior. And plates for the Gemini Junior is your clear plate, which you can tell mine isn't that clear because it's been cut to shreds. Then I'm going to pop, and I like using it this way. I use it the upside down way that it says in the book. So I'm using it the clear cutting plate. I'm going to place my card with the die on top cutting down into that plate. Then there's the smoky plate. I always call that the smoky shim because it's not quite clear, but it's got a white haze to it. So a bit like parchment paper. And then I put the magnetic shim on the top, and I put the other clear plate. Okay, so your magnetic shim might actually have lines and sizes on there. And now I'm going to pop that through my machine. So while that's cutting, we'll have a little chat about this now. So when I take this off then, I'll leave that card there, put my sandwich to the side. So then the middle bits there, if the tape does come off without ripping it, then you've got a nice shape there you can stamp on and place on another card. And just put my my tape up on the top of my shelf here. So we've actually cut this larger one. So I'm going to pop that there. We've actually cut the medium one out of the medium piles. And again, that is spare. So all these little shapes that get cut out can be used on another card. So I've actually done the top one from there, and then I've actually got this smaller one here then, which is from the smaller piles, and that's the larger one from those three. So we're going to be working in the threes as we go through. Okay, so that's the largest one of each three piles that we had, and that is the white cut. So the next colour down from doing the white is actually the pale blue. So now what we do, we place the white on the top of the pale blue. Hi Michelle, how are you? Okay, so that is, so we just place it on top. If you need to tape it, then tape it down so it's in place. So you can see now that I've lined that up to the size of that. I'm going to take the largest one of the two that's left there, and you can see that fits in there with a nice border around it. Okay, so stick these one at a time, hold it in place, stick it to the center. Okay, so the second set of three, we're going to take the largest one out of there, that's left that we haven't cut yet. I'm going to tape that into there, so that's central and square in there, so we can see that's fine. And I'm going to take the largest one left out of these, I'm going to place that in there. Hiya Peter, how are you? Hiya Sarah, how are you? Hope you're okay today. And now I've placed that in there. So you can see now that we've got the white, and then that's going to cut that blue, so it's got like a nice little border around it. Okay, so now we can lift the white up and we can cut this one, and we know the die is not going to move because we've actually taped it on. So again, put it onto my clear plate, smoky plate, magnetic plate and clear plate again. Just turn them over so the smoky plate is up against my paper. I'm going to pop them through my machine. So is everybody okay today? I am watching the comments as we go in, so if anybody comments I can't see them. And if anybody's just joined as well, Peter or Sarah, if you can, if you'd like to share the video, share it with friends or just share it to your timeline or do a post. That'd be lovely. And don't forget, if you need or any craft groups. Hi Helen, how are you? Just join us, so we're watching craft later. Lovely. Yep, that's what these are all about. So I have been asked, now there's quite a few on as well today. I'd like to say that because we are in Wales and we don't know the situation with everything at the moment, that please note that the shop will be open again on Monday, but it'll only be for the 2 hours again, and that'll be from 10 till 12, and we'll be doing all that sort of stuff. The mushroom stamp you have used, and do you sell it? The mushroom stamp that was on there, I think was on... I think that was on the creative stamping one with the fairies and everything like that. But you know, there's all sorts of different stamps in our shop, on magazines and in everything else as well.
When we get the Lavinia stamps in.
And when we get the Lavinia stamps in, which we are going to bite the bullet and get them in, then we will have loads of mushrooms and stuff like that as well. So if I pop that into the screen now, there you can see now that I've got the white and then I've got the blue just inside there. Just so you know, Peter, it was that one that had all of them on. It was the one with the Gavin have used the grasses, the fairies and all sorts of things over the last couple of days. So it's the Creative Stamping issue 83, which is an old one now. But the magazine company are not actually sending any magazines out anymore at the moment until everything is back to normal. Yes, we're all fine, thank you. Into the tip one. Oh, go crikey. Still queuing then, Sarah, at the tips. So I've done the blue, pale blue, and now I need to go into the next colour. So what you'll see is when I put that over there, then you'll get that sort of thing. So you could do as many layers as you want, okay? But I'm going to go for the whole log just to show you. So I'm going to remove the white one off there. I'm just going to put the blue one, because we know the blue one's in place. Blue one is perfect with everything that we need to do. And then with the 3 shapes that we have there now, we've got 3 of the dies that we haven't used yet. So again, place that in the middle. So I would concentrate on one die at a time. Holding your paper, you can tape the 2 pieces together if you want, or just tape them lightly to the craft mat or to your table so that it doesn't move. And then we're going to place the second one in there. And then we're going to place that one into there. And because this is such a small die, I just need to put one in there really, one bit of tape. So again, we've got that nice little border going around, okay? So I can lift the blue off there, and I can bring in my cutting plates again. I won't have any money left. I know, Peter, neither will we. But we are going to bite the bullet. But Gavin did put something on, or say something on one of his lives last week, or this week, that if there's any Lavinia stamps you actually do want out of their sets, if you please let us know which one it is. If you let us know which one it is, because obviously we're going to choose the best sellers and whatever we think will sell. So if there is any particular one you want, then please let us know, okay? And I think Gavin wants to say something as well.
Hello everyone, just wanted to quickly say, if you haven't had an email from us recently, either because you're not on a mailing list or you haven't checked your emails, and if you're not in the Valley Crafters group, private group, if you want to apply to join the Valley Crafters group, because there is a post in there about some new Sentimentally Yours stamps that are going to be coming out, but we're not allowed to advertise it on social media at the moment, so if you want to have a look at those, they are lovely.
Roaring 20s.
Shh, don't say that.
Shh. But don't say anything.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. No, didn't say that at all. I didn't say anything. Did you say something? But yeah, please don't share that post if you do go onto our website, onto the Crafters.
Well, you can't share it anyway.
Oh, but you can't share it apparently anyway. So there we are. That takes it out of my hands. Right, so I've now cut the white, the blue and the grey. And if I layer them up on top of each other, so that on there, and I just tap them on two sides, they actually fall perfectly in line. Where can they see Lavinia stamps? Go to Lavinia Stamps website. Yeah, if you go to Lavinia Stamps website, you can actually have a look at the stamps on there, and then they'll have a name. It might have a code on it as well. But you know, but whatever you see there that's available, we should be able to buy. So please just make a note of it. Let us know and support us. You know, because obviously it is a Lavinia website that you could buy off, but you know, we've got to order £400, I think, to get them. So it'd be nice to actually have some sales out of ones that are going to be coming in. So please have a look. It's probably going to be towards the end of this month, beginning of next month, that we're doing our order. So if you do need them, please let us know. Okay. So as you can see, we've done our 3 layers. Okay. But now we need to do the 4th layer. Okay, Peter, thank you very much. If you just, you can either send it to Valley Craft on their email, or you can send it to, well, yeah, Valley Craft email would be better. So I'm actually going to put my white card underneath there so you can see where I'm going with this. So you can see now that I've laid my grey on my black piece, so we can actually do, so it's actually going to show a nice matten layer. Okay. And then out of all the 10 dies that we had there, that I've used, need to use the tiniest one that we haven't actually cut yet, in the centre of there. And that just gives a nice little shape in the centre of that. Then we find the next die to go in there. So that is actually the same size. So I'm going to take the next one down. So you'll always use, you'll never use any more than those 10 that you've got. No problems. I had a look on ones I would like are sold out. And ones I would like are sold out. Which ones? Last time I looked at my Lavinia wish list, it came over. Well, just let us know, Peter. Peter says his wish list for Lavinia came to £250, Gav. Yeah. Man after my own heart. Thank you. I'll get an order in as soon as possible, Donna said.
That won't even cover half an order.
Sarah, I had a look and ones I would like are sold out. Sarah said, but I don't know whether she's on about Lavinia or other things that we do. When you had a look, they were sold out. Was that Lavinia stamps, Sarah, or was that something that we do? Or was it dies or something like that? Okay, so I've now put that in there, and I'm just going to lift that off. So I know now that my black matte layer at the bottom is going to be perfect. And I'm going to take my cut-in plates again. Make sure that's stuck down. Put my sandwich back together, and I will actually put that through my guillotine, my cutter, my Gemini Junior. There we are, that's going through there. So now I've just taken all my bits off there.
They sold out because we haven't had them in yet.
Sarah, the whole point of the things that we said about on that is that you message us to let us know which ones you would actually like, so that when we can place an order for them, because they're not available to order yet, we can actually order them for you and make sure that we've got enough in of that particular stamp that everybody will want. So if you have a look at them and let us know which ones you actually want, and then we can make sure we get that in for you, and we can write your name on the list, and then you won't miss out on the one you actually want. Email us, send us a message, comment on the actual post that we've put. Okay, and then that would be lovely. Okay, so I've now got all my dies that I've actually cut, so I can put them to the side. I've got all my little bits that I've cut out as well, so these can all be used on cards. Yeah, I can make a nice background out of all these. Yeah, don't be afraid to use them for whatever you want then, okay? So that's all the bits that come out. Stick them to your wall, do whatever you want with them. Stick them as labels on your big pots. So, first things first, we've got our folded card. Okay, and then we have our black matte layer for that. So this is where, right, yeah, no problem. Here we are, Sarah. So just send us a message of which ones you want, and that'd be lovely. So we've now got the black with a matte layer, we've got the grey with a matte layer, we've got the blue, and we got the white. So if I just knocked all them up together, those three, and actually placed them with a nice black border going all the way around, you can see that that looks absolutely lovely. Okay, and you can keep all them flat if you want. Hi Adelia, how are you? Okay, so that is that. So if you're posting these cards, you can stick every single one of those layers flat. It is not a problem at all, but you can layer them up as well, and I'm just going to layer one or two of them up today. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my all-purpose Kalal, which we do, and we also do a big bottle of it. Okay, I'm going to just take the glue off the tip of the nozzle, and I'm just going to put some glue around all shapes like that. I'm going to send Gavin downstairs now because he's tutting around me and stuff like that.
That's a squeeze, isn't it?
It's not very professional when I'm doing a live video. I have to send him home. Oh yeah, that one was missing, that's right. Yeah, that one was missing. That was one that we give somebody the stamps out of ours because there was something missing. So that's the black flat onto my folded card. I'm also going to stick my grey piece flat as well, and always make sure you put in your glue or your tape on the back, not on the front, because otherwise your shapes won't line up. I'm just literally making sure I'm going around. And the reason I'm going around the edge is because if we decided to do a shaker card, it means that it'll be sealed completely around every shape. Okay, so I'm going to put that one down flat. Okay, so that is that. And then, what was wrong with Gavin? Yes, I know.
Where do we start?
Gavin, Deborah's laughing. Gavin at you because she knows what you like, and Dawn have said, oh, I was just going to ask her what's wrong with Gavin. What isn't wrong with Gavin is the question you should be asking, really. So, as you can see, I've turned this over. That's the front, because obviously it goes like that, and this is the back. Okay, so I'm now going to place some foam pads on here. Now you can use your foam tape, foam pads, it can be however thick you want it. So it's entirely up to you. Okay, but I'm just going to place a few, and I'm just taking my foam roll and actually put in little pieces around like that. And the reason I'm putting them around the actual shapes is so that they don't droop when they actually go onto the card. There's nothing worse than a droopy one. Especially when you're sending it out to somebody and you know you want it to look nice when they get it. So you know, if it's going with a postman and it's going to be in different moistures and different temperatures, it will start drooping and sagging, so we don't want that. So I've literally just taken a little bit of little length off my foam roll. Okay, so that's my bit. Now if you was actually doing a shaker card now, what I would have done is I would have taken my red liner tape, okay, and I would have put a little bit of red liner completely around here, and I would have stuck a bit of acetate over the top, and then I would have put some foam tape then right around like that, making sure there was no gaps at all over the back of the acetate. No, rewind, that's different. If I was going to make a shaker card, I would probably make a shaker card between the blue and the white one. Okay, so I would stick that on there first. And I'll show you what I would do then to get the acetate on. I'll actually do a shaker card with this one now, just to show you. So I'm actually going to do that, put that in there. I'm just peeling off all the backing off the tape. I'll actually put a window in this so that you can see how to do a shaker card. I wasn't going to do, but I'll show you how to do one as well. So it'll be an extra little additive to this craft along. Da, da, Just take on little bits off, so it does take a little bit longer, but it means you're not using too much of your roll either when you're doing this bit. So is there any questions anybody would like to ask? Donna says she's a big fan of red liner tape, but just recently I've been using the high-tack Layer 1 acetate and it is amazing.
Alright, the high-tack blue. Acetate.
So what I'm doing, I'm just putting that down on there. So that's giving it a little bit of a lift. Okay, so now that is that on there, and I've got a little pot where I put all my little backs, all the backs of my tape and everything into, and then what I do then, I actually brick them into a plastic bottle. So that is that. So if you wanted to do a shaker card, the secret to doing the shaker card would be to place your white piece over your blue piece there. Okay, take a pencil, mark around the edge of the window you want to put a shaker card in, like so. Okay, and then we know where the mark is. Then you take your red liner. So this is going to be a very shallow shaker card as well, so it's just going to be like a nice, just going to add some sparkle or something to whatever you want to put in there really. I could even make it so it just looks like a window. So with the red line tape, this is just for fitting your acetate to this piece. So I'm going on the outside of the pencil line that I had there. And the high-tack glue is really good for acetate, but I will use this one because I want it to dry a bit quicker as well, and it will take a bit longer with acetate to dry because obviously it's up against something that's non-porous. I think Gavin's looking for something because he's just gone through my drawers in the craft room. I think he's gonna be heat embossing, so he's just taking the heat and he's going downstairs, I think, so that he doesn't stir about this live video. He's afraid of what I'd throw off the desk. So I've now got that red liner tape all around there. Okay, and I'm going to take some acetate. So if I cut any acetate, I usually keep all the little pieces as well, because I always find that they come for little windows or stuff like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut that acetate. Be very careful. As long as you don't push it down, it will lift up again. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and then I'm going to cut around that so I won't actually see it. I'm going to cut it. I could have cut it before I put it on, but this is just as quick. Okay, And I'm just going to pop that like that. I'll run my finger along where the tape is, and that'll actually help it to stick really quickly. And now I've got my one little window in there. Okay, if it's a loose piece of acetate there, you can just take that off if you want, but it's not going to make a problem with the card. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so I've got another piece of acetate there, and what I'm going to do now is, I know where the pencil mark is, so I'm just going to take some foam tape, and if you cut into foam tape like that, so you'd make a little notch like that, you can actually come down the side or something like that, and where it actually hinges you can actually curve it and do that. Okay, I'm going to go again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push that right up to the edge of that piece. So you can use really long pieces on this. I'm going to cut up there where I know the edge of that is, and I'm going to run it along there, and I'm going to cut up there and form a bendy hinge there. Cut there and form another bendy hinge there. So you can see now that there's no gaps at all where the stickiness is. Let's see if I've got the right amount for this. So that's all you've got to do is make sure you butt it right up if it's a new piece, and just do that. So I'm not cutting all the way in, I'm just cutting a little way in, and I'm going to cut a little bit longer on this one because I know that's going to overlap that, but I can bend it and push it in like that. So that's literally all you have to do, is make sure there's no open ends to the foam tape. Okay. Okay, and just to make sure, I'm just gonna pull the backing off the tape. Did you just heat glued in? And there we are. There's no gaps. You can see the tape is intact all the way around there, so there's no gaps at all. Okay, now whatever I wanted to put in there, I can put in there. If you've got fingerprints on your acetate, then you can just give the acetate a bit of a wipe before you put anything in there, and that gets rid of all your fingerprints. And then this is what you do. Yeah, you can use an anti-static pad as well on your acetate, and that'll stop anything from taking to it. But I think what I'm going to do is take some glitter, and I know this is for Dad, but everyone needs a little glitter in their life. And because I'm using blues, I might actually use some blues. Oh, that'd be quite nice. So again, okay, so I'm going to put that in there, and then just to shake it up a little bit, I'm going to put some chunky-ish glitter in there as well. So I've got a full pot of this stuff. I'll put some of that in as well, just a little bit. This is the glitter I use on my Christmas scenes and stuff. So lovely, lovely. We do have pots of that there, about 50 pots of them there. Okay, and then what I do then, I make sure my acetate is big enough to cover the whole of the foam tape, and I push that down and make sure I push enough pressure on the tape to make sure that that is stuck. And then I can even cut off the excess end like so. So never be afraid to cut your your acetate after you put it over your thing, because you can always get scissors in there and always cut along it. At least you know then it's the right shape, it's the right size, and it's not going to affect anything else that you're going to put on the top. Okay, just going to move that a little bit there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and if you're wondering what that beep beep was, it was my phone going. So now I can shake that around, and I've got this nice little blue glittery thing there, and I could have even stamped something on the image underneath, but you can see that the pattern is still underneath it. Okay, so that's there, look. So it's nice little, so you could use this as a Christmas scene card as well. I know I said the C word. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. It's all starting to come out again, as that this is the time of year for Christmas, to be honest with you. That's okay, Donna. Glad you enjoy the tips. So when I put this on top of there now, you can see that I've already got a little bit of sticky from the little foam pad that's still hanging over the edge. But because that's raised, I need to raise all around the other lots. Okay, but I also want to stamp on this as well. Okay, so when I said about you need some small decorative stamps, I meant something to put a bit of pattern, a nice little pattern onto something. And by doing that, I mean, so okay, Kevin's going to come in now and show what he's got. Go on, go on, you can pop it in to show what's coming. He'll come in now.
Archival ink pads.
Archival ink pads, everybody. I'm going to be testing these out a bit later to see what their properties are and what can be done with them. And then once we've done that, it means we can sort out, I can put it onto the graph for the one-to-one ink, and then we're good to go then. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these little boot marks, little footprints, and I'm going to do them so they go around this hexagonal. So it's just a nice little bit of decoration around one of the hexagonals. Okay, I'm going to do that. Oops, and I just dropped that, made a little footprint somewhere else. But as you can see, that just adds a little decorative thing there. So that's just starting to fill the card up. Okay, and then I take my stamp cleaner, which I still haven't cleaned. Just rub that on there, and then that's fine. And I can take those boots off and add them back to the thing. But then this is going to be a Father's Day card for me. Well, for my dad, it's not for me. Oh look, just found a stamp in the wrong place. Needs to be under there. So I actually made these pockets as well. So I bought these pockets, which are for dies, and it's usually got a magnetic shim in it. And that's all I've done is cut a piece of paper that fits in there and 2 pieces of acetate, and I set my stamps out on my press to impress. That'll fit onto the paper. I then put ink them all up and stick them on, and then I keep that as that. And then the magnetic shim, then I will actually show you what I'm going to do with that. I will actually show you what I do to make pockets for my dies and also for my stamps. It is a good way of using them. So I'm using Happy Father's Day, which is that stamp there. And these are probably stamps I've had for a good few years, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to take my Happy and stamp it there. Okay. And then take my stamp cleaner and the ink of that stamp. That's happy. Do fathers. So I'm just stamping up fathers. I'm going to put fathers there. Clean that stamp. So I'm just cleaning these stamps so that they're clean enough for me to take off, and then I'll clean them properly later. Happy Father's Day around that one. Clean that. You happy, Sarah, are you? Sarah says she's happy. So the archival inks that have just come in that Gavin just showed, I'm not sure if they will work on acetate and dry enough. So what we're going to do is test it, see how they go, and go from there, and we will actually add that to our chart then for the inky things for the Inks 101. So what I'm doing now, because I know the blue card is exactly the same size as the white when I'm going to put it on, I'm actually just going to put a bit there, a bit there, and a bit there, and then around the small one and the big one I'm actually going to put it on the back of the white, because if I put it here I might go too close and then I'll see everything. Some people would use a lot more foam than I do, but to be honest, if it's supported in so many places, it's less chance it's going to buckle. So that's why I use small pieces like this. And then you also save in your tape as well, the foam tape, so a little bit more. One there, one there, and I need to go around the little one then, so around the top there. Okay, because I know all of this foam here and those three pieces will fit that together. So now what I'm going to do, the ink scam said about this morning, yes, that is the archival ones here. So I'm going to try them on a bit of acetate later, because I know Gavin wanted them because a lot of people use them on the UPO that Gavin's been using for the alcohol inks, so I know he was after some of them. So I'm just removing all the little noddles on the back of this, sorry. It does take a little while, but we haven't got much more to do to the card, so apart from, I'm going to show you how to add just a little spot of colour into the lamp if you want to show it that it's got a light on. Alright, so I peeled off everything off the back of them, and I'm just going to peel off the front of these three. And if you're a bit nervous about going over and getting it perfect, put some of your all-purpose glue on it, put some of your original high-tack glue on the back of your foam pads, and it allows you a little bit of manoeuvrability. Alright, archival doesn't work on acetate but is fantastic on everything else, Carolyn says.
All right.
Yes, it will be available to purchase on Monday. Although if you heat emboss it, it is okay on acetate as long as you're using a heat resistant acetate. So you can actually use any inks on acetate then, but if you're heat embossing it. So I know what you're all thinking. I put all these layers on now. How am I going to put the image inside there? I take the white piece that actually came out of there. See? Ta-da! And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp my lamp on there. So again, it's all about finding the images you want to use. Just going to pop. So when I do put my stamps back on their sheet, I actually put my acetate down and my other acetate on top of it, so I know my stamps are all lined up. And then when I put my stamps back away, I actually put the happy, there's, ooh, stuck on a bit of acetate, huh? Gavin is going to sort out those inks now actually, so they'll probably be on the website by the end of today. So ready for, well, they should be on there within the next couple of hours, I know, in Gavin. Okay, so that's my stamps away. I'm just going to get my lamp now. So as I said, my dad used to work in a mine, well, as a youngish boy. So this will be a bit apt for him. He always thinks back about the days when he was in the mines as a child. And I know that's pointing upwards. And I could actually use my press to impress on this one. Okay, lift that over, pop this in, pop the point right to the top and put a magnetic thing there, and then my lamp is going to fit perfectly in like that. Lift it up, take my ink, just gonna stamp that. If it doesn't come out right the first time, then I can go back in. If I want it a little bit darker, and go back in, ink it up again, and that's that stamped. Nice and easy. Okay. But now I'm going to pick up that stamp because I want to make sure this is nice and clean. I'm going to take my stamp cleaner, rub it on the bottom side which is wet, and then rub it on the top, and that will take off the ink off that. That's just the Crafts 2 stamp cleaner, which I think is available in the shop as well. So now I've got my lamp. And I want to add a nice little flame or something in there. So there's a couple of ways I can do that. This is our super smooth paper. So I think what I'm going to do is take a yellow ink pad, just to add a little bit of colour, so I'm not adding too much. I'm going to take a smoothie, or I could take one of my little thimbles. I think a thimble would be easier actually, it's a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to take the yellow one. I always keep one for each colour I have in my stash. I'm going to tap it on. I'm going to make sure I haven't got too much yellow there. So I'm just going to, oh no, that's fine. Okay, I'm just going to rub in the middle. make it nice and bright in the middle there, and just ink out, pushing the ink out from that centre bit like that. And then if I take just a little bit of orange, take my little orange thimble thing as well, and make sure there's not too much orange on that as well. It's not. I'm just going to go dead in the centre there, and a little bit of orange into the brightness, just to make it look like it's a nice little bit of light in the lamp. Worked down the mine for 20 years, then on top for 6 years. Diddy Deborah. My dad used to love working down the mine for what he did, but then he was only a little kid, and my father was a smoker at a young age as well, so we used to have a smoky with the boys down there as well. So literally now I'm just getting my I think I'm going to use brown grey and an ice grey. I'm going to check the colours first to see what colours I'm using. So it's a ice grey blend, which has got an IG2, ice grey 2, that's got ice grey 4, which is IG4, and then it's also got an IG5. So I can choose now which colour I want to use. And I think the IG5 might be better, but I'm also going to check the brown ones as well. So we've got brown grey 2, brown grey 3, which is BG2, BG3, and then a BG4. So, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go from the ice grey and I'm going to go for the brown grey. If I add that up to there, you can see it's more like the grey that I've actually got around there. Okay, so I'm using the brown grey 4. Okay, so brown grey 4, I'm just going to start colouring my lamp. Okay. Leave a little bit of white, so I'm just flicking out from that bit. I come down the handle. There's a couple of lines down this lamp. Just going to add a little bit of colour in there. Circular, so I'm just going to add that in there. Just going to go in and go a bit darker, closer to the edge. I just want it to be darker down the edges. So I'm just going with the same colour again, so this is the easy way of getting tones of different colours of the same colour. You should just go over what you've been over in the smaller area with the same colour, especially after it's dried, because you can actually get it to work properly then. You start getting shadows and shading, and so I'm just drying out quite quickly. My dad always mentions about mines in '66 that went when the Panavan. Didn't he go and help with Bampi and stuff to sort that out, to help out there to the kids? So he's been through a lot helping wise as well. I'm just doing that, so I've now got a nice little bit of a shadow on that. So there we are. So So everybody, the archival links that have just come in, they are now on the site, and Gavin's just added a link to the comments. So yes, so just, if you do want any of the archival, please go for it. So what I'm going to do with this one, because I want the thing to stay going down, I'm going to raise this up quite a bit. Okay, and I'm going to use my thicker foam pads this time, and these come in a big roll normally as well, like that, and you get 1,000 on a roll. I usually cut mine in half, so that's 2,000, and they're 25 by 12 by 2, and you get 1,000 foam pads on that, and they do work out a lot cheaper than buying the smaller packets. But obviously I know Gavin's already done an order with them, I think, haven't you? Gavin's done an order with them, so we're just for that to come in. So I'm going to also double those foam pads up as well. So I've taken the backing off them. Just going to cut that one in half so I don't waste it. Put that on top of that one. And then that'll be raised up then in the middle of the biggest one there. That one's going to be noisy now, he's going to use my chairman now. Okay, so I'm just placing that in the middle there. So that is now my shaker. I've got Happy Father's Day. I've got that little miner's lamp on there. Okay. And it's nice because you've got that sort of blues in there which are all around as well, and also I can put a nice little gem in there if I wanted to. I'm just gonna grab all my little gems. It's just gone all of a sudden rather dark here, and which one shall I use? I think that looks a bit fun, so I think I've got that little blue there which sort of matches that blue there. So I think I'm going to put, yeah, I think that's the colour I'm going to use. So if I do that, I'm just going to Can any of you tell Gavin's been a very noisy person today?
Sorry.
He's been rather noisy. And then I'm just going to pop that one gem up there. Or shall I do 3? Oh, let's do 3. So 3 across on one corner, 3 across on the other. Go in a different way, so that fills that corner up a bit more. That fills up that corner, and I think that's enough on there. So again, when I want to stick my gems on, I do use the original high tack because it is very, very good for sticking that. And I will get my sticky pencil as well, which is normally in the pack of gems, the Chinese container for the gems. Well, it was in the thing with the gems, but where is it now? There would be that. Right, I've got one. I think I've got one. I think I've got a sticky pencil. Let's have a look. Let's push them off. Let's see if it picks it up. Yay! Do you like that, Deborah? They look nice, doesn't it? A nice little card. Like I said, if you've got enough, if you do enough of the layers, you could actually put a 3D flower in the middle of one of them as well, because it is deep enough to take a 3D flower, and then it's not really adding any extra depth to the card because you've already got the depth from the foam pads in the layers. So, yeah, so that's them 3. Okay, drop them 3 off. put a little bit of glue up there, 3 dots. Maybe just got a bit too close with that dot. Get a bit another glue there. I'm not worried about glue oozing out of it, because that's all I do if there's a bit of glue that's oozed out, is you just take a pokey tool and water. I just move that off like that. Yep, Gavin can lick the glue now. So I'm not scratching the card, I'm just leaving the point of the tool, just picking up that excess bit of glue. Cool. And it does stick really fast as well. Okay, so the gems are sticking fast, but the glue is staying a little bit wetter on the outside of this, so I can just take that off from there. Any problems with that, you just push them off, slide my glue around, slide my gem around there, and that's done. Just take a little bit off there, done. There we are. So that is the card. Okay, so to recap, so that's the 3 cards I've done. Yeah, the miner's lamp was lovely. It did come with, I'm not sure if you had that stamp actually, Gainer. It was with one of the creative stamping magazines. It was the one with the walking boots and the scene and the backpack and the signpost and all them. So it was probably one of the stamping magazines you actually had. Oh, thank you, Tracy. I am already thinking just one circle in the middle of a square Christmas card with a robin in the centre and layers of red and green. Could be easy to make batches. Yes, definitely. Definitely, Annie. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I think you did have it because you haven't really missed any of the things. Thank you, Mum. Thank you for the hugs and the cookies and the thank yous and the love. I like the loves. Thank you, Carolyn. Your dad is a lucky man. He is, he's very lucky. I mean, how lucky could somebody be having a son like me and a daughter like my sister? You know. Very, very lucky. Thank you, Gavin, Deborah, everybody's doing the loves. So, yep, so there we are. So the mushroom with the brown, so I've just gone white, cream, well, white, ivory, light brown and dark chocolate brown. I've used a brown ink to stamp things around. If you wanted to add extra decorations, all the little bits that you actually cut earlier, all these little pieces, that's all you would have to do. Oh, thank you, Alex. I didn't know you was watching. I didn't see any things. Issue 82 Creative Stamping. Look at that. See, Sarah knows. She's organised. I always throw the magazines out, so I never know what.
Well, you don't throw them out. Give them to bed.
Okay. So you can just do that, cut them in half, and have that half as a design down the side of the card as well, which I might actually put on there. That looks quite nice there. No, it'll spoil it. Lovely, thank you. Wish I had a dad. Well, you did have one.
Just no longer with us.
He's just no longer with us, unfortunately. I would have loved to have met him. But yes, some of us are lucky to still have our parents around, so we've got to be thankful for that, especially with everything that's going on, because there are people who have lost all sorts of family members through this, young and old. But thank you very much everybody for watching today. If you did want to add glitter, so I don't know if I showed you this, I've got a ring of glitter around on this one. I've actually got some glitter dots as well. Okay, so to do that I can show you on one of my little samples. I don't want you to not know how I done something, so I'm going to show you how I done it. So I'm going to take one of my little shapes there, and this is the one, and this is one of the things that I do like, is your fine nozzle glue bottles with a little fine tip that has a little pin. If you put your glue in, you can have real control going around the edge like that, and I'll just do half of it so that you can see it, and then I'll show you how to do the dot glitter as well. And then if I'm actually going to do a gem, I'll actually show you that once I've glittered this. So a nice little bit of paper. Okay, just give me the blue glitter I just used. That one, that'll do. Okay, so I've now got the blue glitter here, and that's all I'm going to do is sprinkle him out. This is the same blue I used in the okay, and then you end up with that nice little blue glittery sort of edge there. Okay, you can actually see all the sparkles on that now, and once it looks a bit smoky at the moment, but once that glue has dried and it's gone clear, it actually will just be the glitter on that card then. But to do a gem, this is what I usually do. So I've actually got a few little gems on this one. You can see the 3 little dots there. If you're using a thick enough glue, which this is the high tack, I'm literally just going to do like a gem shape, and I could leave that and it'll hold its shape, or I can add glitter into it. And leave that like that, and then give it a couple of minutes to dry, just a little bit, and that's all you do. You just push it down in the middle, and that will give you more of a flatter gem. But leave it dry for a couple of minutes and then push it down, and then you get more of a circular sort of flatter gem. But you can leave it bumpled up like that, and it looks like a glittery pearl then as well. Okay, you can see it's quite dimensional. It has got a 3D element to it. Okay, and then to get this glitter back in its pot, just open it to the bigger end there, lift my paper up like that, put the point there, just keep tapping it, and then that's my glitter back in my pot. Then I can seal it until it clicks, and then I know no glitter is going to come out of it, and then that's done. Okay, so that's how you edge, and that's how you can do your gluey gems as well. Okay, and I've just pushed that, but even if you push it, you can still push it back because it's not sticky because of the glue. I can push it back into shape, and that's the good thing with it. So, and that's how I did the glitter around this art there and those little gems there and there. Okay, so I just saw the star that they would look lovely for Christmas.
I saw the star died.
You saw the star dies? Hiya Maria, just come in at the end my darling, but you can watch this back on YouTube later, or just once we finish the video, give it a few minutes and it should be sort of ready to watch again. But we won't be able to respond to you if you type a message. Just so the star die, they would look lovely for Christmas cards. They would, yes. Okie dokie. Just to say, don't forget, we're in on Monday for the 2 hours again. We won't know till the 18th or 19th when everything's going to change, or what's going to change with the Welsh Government. Remember, we're not in England, so we got different rules. But if you need anything, place an order online. If you can't do the online orders, which is most preferable, ring us up at the shop. We can pick your order if you know what you want. We can take payment over the phone via card, and then you can actually collect it from outside, because until we can allow people in through the government, then that's, you know, that's the safest way of shopping with us. So thank you again, everybody, and thank you for watching, and glad you enjoyed it. Bye.